Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is JC. If you haven't seen my face before, today's video is a Powerless reading vlog. Now, I haven't filmed a single book reading vlog since A Curse for True Love, which was also my first ever single book reading vlog. I just feel like my videos are typically set up to where, I'm reading multiple books for that video's purpose, or I'm just like updating you guys throughout the week in my weekly reading vlog. I definitely want to film more of these like single book dedicated videos, so let me know which reading vlogs you guys want to see. I posted a poll on my Instagram story a few days ago when I was trying to figure out like what books I wanted to read in February along with which reading vlog you guys wanted. I am not surprised that Powerless won. I've seen so many people raving and obsessing over this book. It's been on my physical TBR for a couple months now, and I've been dying to know what the hype is about, so I'm very excited to jump into this. I am doing a buddy read with one of my book stuff friends, so I'm excited to like have someone in real time to bounce thoughts and opinions off of, but I'm also glad that I'm going to be actually filming the process, and you guys can also see my thoughts and opinions as I go through this book. I am going to be annotating this, so I did set up my tabs last night. This is what I have, and I'm just like excited to get into this. So I think our goal is to read like 50 or 100 pages today, so I'm going to get reading on this.
I see it in your eyes. Yeah, I can read the signs. You need to get away. It's time we make a change. Oh, you know you'll always have me. Baby, I will always stay with you. So put your...
Okay, I just finished the first 4 chapters, so I just want to hop on and kind of give my initial thoughts and opinions. Guys, I've been tabbing the heck out of this. I wonder if I can somehow show you. I don't know how easy it is to tell, but there's probably like 50 tabs in here. The fact that this is Lauren Roberts' debut novel genuinely blows my mind. I feel like any time that I'm entering into a new fantasy world, it's just so hit or miss on how quickly I understand the world I'm in. Like, guys, it's me reading the first 50 up to 100 pages in just pure confusion before I finally hit a point that I'm like, huh, I think I finally understand how this world operates. Now, I can generally like or dislike characters pretty early on, but as far as like actually understanding the world they're in, I'm pretty slow in that department. So I've been loving her writing style. I love the way that she's introducing this information so organically and so naturally. As an author, it's a very hard balance, I'm sure, of wanting your readers to understand the world, but not wanting to just like info dump in the first few chapters. So I just love that she has that balance here, and I'm not overwhelmed, but I'm also learning little bits and tidbits of the world that they're in. So we have our main female character, Peyton, and in this world, Peyton is low class. She does not have a roof over her head. She doesn't have any family. She does have a friend that she's met on the streets, and it's nice that they just kind of have that common ground, like they understand each other. But, Peyton has to steal every day in order to survive, like in order to eat every day. But she's a very strong, smart, independent queen who does not need a man. Segue into our main male character, Kai. Kai is a prince. So Prince Kai, royalty, he is the younger brother to, I don't even remember the brother's name right now, but it is very much acknowledged that the older brother is going to be king. And it's great that he's the one that's going to be king because he is just this very like kind, caring man, while Kai is more of the callous one and, can really slay the battlefield. Go Kai. But I will say that I love how Kai has been portrayed so far. I feel like other fantasy books I've read where the main male character is royalty, he comes across as like a very heartless, rude man. But like on the inside, he's actually like, he doesn't like that he has to be that way, so he's a softy at heart. But like, that's not how Kai's, at least right now, being portrayed. He's being portrayed as someone that like definitely thinks a lot of himself, and has that cocky grin to him, but overall like he has a boyish grin, you know what I mean? Like, he is a nice, like, respectful man, and I just liked that that's our introduction to him so far. They just had their first interaction, like, without knowing like who each other are, and I was already like, I'm gonna swoon over this man. His first chapter, I just knew the way that he was, talking with other people, interacting with other people. I was like, I'm gonna swoon over him. But also, I'm loving Peyton. Like, I just love how, like, again, strong, independent, and very intelligent she is. Her, like, gift in this world, because they all possess, like, different powers, and, like, there's elites and ordinaries and blah, blah, blah. But she claims to be a sidekick. And I love it because I watched the show The Mentalist and Psych growing up, and those two male characters, like main male characters in those shows, were faking being a psychic. I completely lost my train of thought, but then I was also concerned that her posing as a psychic was a spoiler, and I looked on the back and it's not. So, okay, now I can continue my brief tangent, but I love that in the shows, like, those two male characters are posing as psychics, and they just really have this amazing attention to detail and then can, you know, interpret that information to scheme other people. And that is basically Peyton. Like, when she has to show off this psychic ability, like, she is just so aware of all the different little details that an ordinary person like us would probably ignore. And I just love that because it reminds me of those shows that I love so much. So that's kind of just this introduction to the world, introduction to our main characters, and I am loving it. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, it looks out of focus, but I don't think it is. I think I just need my glasses, but I have an update. So it's the next day. It's the next morning, and I did read more of Powerless last night. So I made it to chapter 18. So about 150 pages in. Guys, I am annotating the heck out of this book. I am loving, loving, loving this book. Our two main characters, Kai, Peyton. Whew, we're good. I'm so actually not okay. There's so many times that I vocalized while reading last night. Like, I am so unwell. Like, I was so giddy. I was giggling. I was screaming. I'm not good. I am fully smitten. Fully. With every part of this book. I love that although Peyton is, you know, kind of this grumpy-ish person, she's not mean. Like, she calls Kai, like, cocky. She makes the comments of, like, well, you're a prince, so I thought you would have, you know, servants ready to rub your feet every day. Like, she makes those snarky comments to him, but she's not mean. And then Kai is the same way, but he has way more sweetness to him. And it is vocalized in here, like, that he is, like, even from the outside, thought to be this very callous man, but is known to have the charm when he wants it. And I'm like, I see that. I see that. So I love that, you know, he is not just viewed as this pure monster of a man. You know what I mean? And, like, then secretly he's, like, an angel or whatever. So I like that. I like how he acts. I love her writing. I love her storytelling. Now that I've read more, I have a better understanding of, like, what's going on. So I'm going to talk about stuff that is on the back of the book. So nothing that I believe is a spoiler, but if you want to go in as blind as I did, which was me picking up the book without reading the back, then maybe at this point, honestly, the video wouldn't be for you because I feel like I'll talk about things after this that aren't a spoiler, but obviously if you went in blind, you wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Okay, so there was a plague many years ago that gifted, weird terminology here, but gifted the elites to have, like, these possessed powers. So it's been decades now, and these powers range. So, like, you have, like, mundanes that have powers that are just seen as less, like, cool, they have powers, but they're nothing special. And then, like, elites have these great abilities that are more useful to the king and stuff. And then you have the ordinaries that got no powers. So the current king, Prince Kai's father, decided he can't risk the elites going extinct. So he's decided, I'm going to banish and execute pretty much all of the ordinaries. A little messed up, okay? A little messed up. So it's literally told to you on the back that Peyton is ordinary. And I kind of mentioned this, but she's been posing as a psychic, and I love it. If you watch The Mentalist, if you've watched Psych, like, that's her. She is them. She just has this amazing ability to pay attention to details and fake her way to being a psychic and staying alive. Because obviously, if she was found out to be an ordinary, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's, like, the setup of the world with the different kind of classes and stuff and the kind of fantastical element. And then we have the purging trials. It's a way to celebrate the plague. Weird. There's the trials, that's a brutal competition showcasing the elite's power. So it's very much Hunger Games, where you have the different kind of classes amongst the kingdom, different levels of strength, and, you know, 10 of them, I don't remember how many, are chosen to enter this every year. I think it's every year. Yeah. So on the back, it literally tells you that she's thrown into these trials. So obviously it's very scary for her because she wanted to like basically not be seen, but an event happens where now everyone kind of like, oh, I know her, you know, like she did this cool thing. And so they vote for her to represent the slums. I think it's the Loot Alley is like their representation, little, you know, town. But she's chosen to represent them in this purging trials. So that's like the premise, and it's very much Hunger Games based on what I've seen so far. The trials haven't started yet, but like people have been selected. They are now kind of prepping for it. Hunger Games. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I love that. But that's kind of my little update right now. I'm absolutely loving this book. I have to go to work, and I'm very sad about having to go to work because I can't just sit here and read, but I will definitely be reading more today. Hello, hi, it's the next day. I think the last time we talked, it was yesterday morning. Yeah. So I like gave you a quick update on my reading, and then I was like, okay, I gotta go to work. And it was a very long work day. Like I was in the office until like 5:30. I came home. I had more work to do for about 3 hours or so. Very long. So I ended up only getting a chance to read when I went to bed. And I only read about 50 pages. So I didn't film it mainly because I was just exhausted and I just wanted to read my book in bed. So that's what I did. I'm now on chapter 23. So page about 200. I mean, the last 50 pages were immaculate. They were immaculate. I am just so swooning over this book. Like, I love our two main characters. We got more interactions of them. We're getting more interactions just like with Peyton and the other people that are, you know, part of the trials as well. They kind of host this event before the trials, I think, to kind of like hype everyone up about it and like, I don't know, it's just an event, right? The Hunger Games. That's kind of where we're at. The trials are about to begin, and I am terrified of what that's going to bring for my emotions. Like, I just love Peyton. Peyton is just not doing the norm. She's not following the status quo. All these little things that's like traditional, but not rules set in the kingdom and in the palace and all this. Like, she's like, okay, well, if it doesn't say I have to do this, then why would I do that? And I'm like, yes, Peyton. Yes, queen. So I've just really enjoyed the continuation of this, and I am deathly terrified of the trials. So today is probably going to be another very long work day, but I probably will film. I'll prioritize filming tonight if I do any reading, which I hope to. So we'll do that. The buddy reading is fun because it's just fun to talk about it with someone, like, again, in more real time. So I'm loving that. But I have a meeting in a few minutes, so I need to make sure I'm good to go on that. And then I will head to the office for the day. Okay, I actually have a few minutes before I need to leave for work, so I'm actually gonna read. I'm gonna take advantage of this few minutes I have, and we're gonna see if I can just even read a chapter or two. We'll see.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling.
Hello, hi, it's the next day. Yesterday's work day did not go as planned, but I feel like we're not surprised, right? It's just one of those weeks. Keep in mind it's only Wednesday, but, you know, we'll ignore that part. So yesterday, you guys did get to see me read a couple chapters before I headed into work. I think I was at chapter 23 the last time we actually talked, though. So I read a couple chapters before work, and then when I finally got into bed last night, I was able to read a bit more. So I'm now on chapter 32, page 281. So I read about 80 pages yesterday. Honestly, more than I thought I did, so that's good. But oh my gosh, so the last time we talked, we were going to be heading into the trial. So the trial hadn't started yet, but we were getting there. Holy smokes, like, it is no joke. And these trials, I say that they're so like Hunger Games coded, and they are, but they're not like operated the same way. this is just set up different. Like, you just have different trials, but it's like the purging trials overall. So it's like trial 1 is what we just experienced here. Oh my god, that was like literally so intense. Like, Lauren Roberts goes hard. I was feeling it, and her pacing through the entire time of that, so it was like 9 chapters or so roughly. I loved it. I loved what we got. Obviously, we got more of Kai and Peyton. You saw me literally freaking out. I'm obsessed with Kai, but I'm also like loving Peyton. Like I've described, she's not mean, but she pushes back at him. She's not like just a little like, oh my god, Prince, you know what I mean? They're adorable. They're adorable, and I love how they care for each other. I love that they hate that they care for each other. It's amazing, but honestly, these trials, no joke, so serious. I was so not okay. Like, obviously, I didn't expect, like, our 2 main characters to die. That would be a plot twist. Like, what is it, you know, 280 pages in, Peyton dies? Like, Lauren Roberts, I'd be so messed up. But I was just scared for, like, everyone else involved, and then, like, just what could happen to either of our main characters. I was just freaking out kind of the whole time. But, okay, my mom's calling me. Hello. Okay, I just got off the phone with my mom. We talked for like an hour, as girly pops do. But I think I was almost done with my update. I was just saying, you know, it was a great start to the trials. I think trial 1 was just so intense. I was definitely on the edge of my seat of like what's going to happen with all of the characters. I loved our main 2 characters interacting. And I just love that they're both strong, independent people that, you know, one isn't stronger than the other. So the other's always having to like protect the other one, you know what I mean? Like, they're just able to take care of themselves, and I love that. So I was definitely just on the edge of my seat, though, thinking about what's going to happen with everyone else. What is the first trial going to be? It was so good. The pacing through the entire book is great, but also just the pacing of how she balanced, obviously, readers wanting to have the interactions of our main 2 characters, along with the fact that the trials are happening. Like, Lauren Roberts is doing so well. I don't know how much I'm going to read today. I don't really know what my goal is for the day, but I have today off work and I have other stuff that I'd like to get done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll just check in with you guys whenever I pick back up the book. Okay, I accomplished some stuff on my to-do list, so now I just want to sit and read. It's currently 3 o'clock. I don't know how much I'm going to read in this sitting, but I do have a goal of getting to page 400 today. So we'll see. It's only 120 pages, which I think is reasonable. I just don't know how long it'll take me. So I'm going to put on some like kind of background music, if you will, kind of like those ambiance rooms, and get to reading.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. And get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far.
Okay, it is currently 4:30, so I've been reading for like the last hour and a half, I'd say. I am now on chapter 39, so I've read about 70 or so pages, and in the last update, the first trial had just ended, and now we are kind of heading into this gap period where the contestants can like heal up. They can also do a bit more training before the second trial, which is kind of nice of them, you know, like instead of just having one long trial with no breaks. I mean, kind of nice. So the last 7 chapters have been that gap period, and oh my gosh, so much has happened. Who knew so much could happen outside of like trial related things? So much has been revealed to us as the reader, and now we have like additional plot lines that we're following, and none of that is mentioned on the back here, so I don't want to like touch on any specifics, but it's just it's very entertaining, and I'm very much like, plot twist, okay, and wow, okay, I kind of could have seen that, like that's not completely crazy to me, but good to know. So it's just like a lot of different levels of things. I've loved getting more from our main 2 characters. Guys, I read chapter 35, and like if you just read that book, like just go back and pay attention to what like all of chapter 35 was. I was so unwell. I was literally having to message the person I'm buddy reading with. I'm like, no, but can we take a moment? Like, can we just take a moment for that chapter? Like, I'm like, how do I highlight everything? Like that, how do I highlight everything? I was so not okay. I'm like blushing. I'm tearing up. Okay, moving past that. It's been so bingeable. Like, I am obsessed with her writing. I'm obsessed with her pacing. I love that we have this, you know, this trial, right? And so you would think very like action packed. Therefore, when we're not, you know, in the trials, then it could maybe seem boring. That's just not the case. The way that she's writing this, I'm just like, there's so much going on, but not in a confusing way. Like, there's just so much to keep track of and get updates on, and so many things that, you know, you're waiting on developments for, that there's not like a boring moment for me in this book. And I love that. I love that. And I've been obsessed with the pacing. I've been obsessed with the pacing and the writing and the balance of all of it, of the fantastical element, of the romance, of this very just political side, if you will. Like, oh, it's so good. I'm definitely intrigued to see how book one ends, because obviously this is book one in a series. Well, I don't think it's been classified as a trilogy. I feel like there's going to be more than 3 books, but I have no idea. But either way, book one, I feel like authors just have a lot of different ways that they can continue the story. So I'm interested to know kind of what we get answers on in book one, and what, you know, we'll just have to wait and see for the next books. I'm just very excited. I feel like there's so much going on here in the best way, and I'm looking forward to just how that progresses simply in this book alone, and then obviously book 2 and so on will continue. So I'm going to continue on with this. I may check in again with you guys when I hit that 50-page mark tonight, or I'll just check in with you guys first thing in the morning and we'll give another little reading update. It's the next day, but I wanted to hop on and give a quick reading update before I head to the office this morning. So we last talked when I was on chapter 39 last night, and I was like, I think I'm just going to read to, you know, chapter, maybe it was 49 or something like that. Point is, if you know, you know. Like, go back and read whatever was happening around chapter 49. Like, no way could I just stop reading. So I am now on chapter 54, page 436. So I read about 90 pages since we last talked. So much has happened. I just like had to refresh my mind of what was happening at the beginning of chapter 39. We were heading into the second trial when we last talked. I can't believe it. Guys, we've been through it. So we had the second trial happen. That was insane. But like the king, I mean, he's a smart fella. Like, everything he does is quite intentional, like with setting up the trials and everything, what challenges are going to be happening. But like, you know, like, anyways. So we had the second trials come and go, and then we had the week or whatever, I think it's a week that they have in between. Now we are heading into the final trial. So between the second trial and then that gap time in between, we have just had so much. We've had a lot progressing in the kind of political plot line going on. We've had a whole lot happening with our 2 main characters. Holy smokes. And then we have just our side characters that we just like adore. Like, I adore Kit. Kit is Kai's brother, the heir to the throne, and I adore him. Like, he is just such a kind guy, and I just feel bad because, like, obviously they would have different roles, like Kai being the enforcer, and like he has to obviously prep for being an enforcer, and then Kit, who is very much like Kai in the sense of just brothers, and like they both, you know how to fight, they both train with each other, but Kit has to prep to be heir, he has to be a king, he has all the political meetings and everything that he's prepping with, and I'm like, that just sucks. Like, they're both doing the best that they can, and they're both so great. So it's just a lot definitely has happened in the last 90 pages as far as like progressing with this plot line. I was very surprised. Wow. So I need to head to the office and I'm devastated. I just want to sit here and read, but I think I'll be able to come back early afternoon and I will be finishing this book for sure today. I think I only have about 60 or 70 pages left, so yeah, this is getting finished today. Okay guys, hello, hi, good morning. It's the next day and I did finish Powerless last night. Oh my god, I honestly just needed a moment for my brain to just sit and process everything that happened. I think when we last talked I had like 60, 70 pages left. Wow! Wow! Those last 60, 70 pages were insane. Like, I still can't really fathom everything that's happened in this first book. And the fact that this is just book one. Wow, okay. Let's like kind of separate this out. I kind of want to give an initial non-spoiler kind of thought process to the ending of the book, and then kind of a thought process of like the book overall. Again, both of these non-spoiler. The ending of this book. Like, I'm sorry. What? Stuff was revealed to us that I did not see coming. Like, wasn't even a thought in my head. I was shook. And I was just like sitting there reading, trying to just take everything in. And I'm like, literally, what am I reading? As I'm flipping through these pages, just trying to complete this book to get everything I can. I was feeling so much for our main characters. Like, to me, the main characters are Kai and Peyton, because obviously we get both their POVs, but then also Kit. Like, Kit is involved with our main character so much in different ways that, like, he's an honorary main character member to me. So, like, I was just feeling so much for them. For different reasons, right? Like, if you read this, like, there's different reasons you feel so much for them, right? Because you're just learning their different backgrounds, their personalities, their roles in the plots of this book, and oh my god, like, wow. Lauren Roberts really did that to us. Like, she gave us this book, and I don't know what I did to deserve that. Like, thank you. Thank you. And I will say that, like, this book ending, I really just want to sit with this book. I think that even if I had book 2 right now, I wouldn't want to jump into it as my next read, because I really just want to like sit and think and process this book and give it all the attention and love that it deserves before I just like jump into the next one. Like, this book deserves time. And I will say though, I do not want to wait several months. Like, I would just want to wait like maybe a week or two, you know what I mean? So waiting several months is not really my vibe. I did go ahead and pre-order it from Blackwell's again, because I think this is from the UK and I definitely want them obviously to match, and I am a paperback girly, so I did go ahead and pre-order it from there. But this was added probably in later like prints of the book, but you do get the next chapter, like the first chapter of Reckless in the back of this. Girl, I will say, like, my heart was literally being ripped out of my chest from that first chapter. I was just sitting in silence for a good, like, 10 minutes. Like, I finished the book, and I'm just, like, sitting there, like, I'm in pain. That was amazing. I wish I could reread this for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, this was so good. And it was such an amazing ending to the first book. You do get some answers to some stuff, but it's enough, like, enough stuff wasn't answered, but you're given enough information that, like, I'm not left unsatisfied with the stuff I don't know yet. Like, Lauren Roberts really, really did it. She did that. I want to wrap this up by giving my overall thoughts to the book. Obviously, I loved it. I said it once. I probably said it twice, and I will say it again and again. The fact that this is her debut novel genuinely blows my mind. There's just so much that she did well in this book. I loved her writing. I loved her pacing. I loved her balance of the POVs. I love the mixture of like longer and shorter chapters, because based on what was going on, like, we needed more from certain chapters. And then other times we got this like 2-page chapter that I was like, I literally don't think I could have handled any more. And she knew when to do that. Like, absolute masterpiece. Everything she wrote was so beautiful. I mean, I tabbed the heck out of this book because everything was tab worthy. I feel like deciding to tab this book really enhanced my reading experience because I could have easily just like read this book and talked with you guys about it, but like it hit different. It hit different being able to like be so giddy and tab and write in the margins. Oh, I just love this reading experience of this book. I definitely can't wait for book 2 to come out. Let me know if you guys would like to see a reading vlog on Reckless as well. Please let me know if you guys have read this book. If you are at all hesitant to read this book and you're like, well, I don't know, it's hyped up so much. Hopefully this reading vlog helped you in any way. If you have been hesitant to read this, pick it up. Okay, guys? Pick up the book. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. I had so much fun making it. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.